Today on Bowl of Delicious, we are going to make the best banana bread. It comes out super moist every time, and there's 2 secrets to it. Using 4 bananas and olive oil results in a perfectly moist, super sweet and tasty banana bread every single time. Plus, you get the benefits of using a healthier fat and less added sugar because of the natural sweetness from all the bananas. With all that moisture in there, it's easy to add a little bit of whole wheat flour for more fiber and nutritional value without sacrificing taste or texture. Before we get to this recipe, don't forget to hit that like button to tell me if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel Bowl of Delicious for more from scratch recipes made simple and always delicious. All right, let's get to it. For this recipe, you'll need 4 whole ripe bananas, almost black, 2 eggs, baking soda, salt, extra virgin olive oil, cinnamon, brown sugar, vanilla extract, whole wheat flour, and all-purpose flour. Let's start with the bananas. I like to keep my ripe bananas in the freezer until I have enough to make banana bread. Then you can just pop them in the freezer whole, and when you're ready to bake, you microwave them for about 2 minutes and they come out perfect. They might look a little bit funny, but this texture is going to be perfect for banana bread. You can also ripen unripe bananas by sticking almost ripe bananas into the oven at 300 degrees for about a half an hour. This won't work if your bananas are green. It doesn't actually ripen the fruit, but it does make them softer and the perfect texture for baking. So if you try to ripen green bananas, they're going to be gross because there's no actual natural sweetness to them. Before you begin, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and prepare your loaf pan. I like to use a glass loaf pan. If you use a dark colored loaf pan, it can make the heat retention a little bit more and it can make the banana bread crust a little bit burnt, whereas glass doesn't retain heat as much and it will come out a little bit less dark and a little bit less burnt around the edges. Once you've got your oven preheated, you're going to take 2 tablespoons of the olive oil and you're going to coat the bottom of the loaf pan with it. It might seem like a lot, but that's okay. It's all right if some pools on the bottom of the loaf pan. This is going to really help it not stick. So I just kind of like take the loaf pan and kind of wiggle it around until all the olive oil coats it. Alternatively, you can just use your hands to make sure all of the sides and all of the bottom is completely coated in it. You can go ahead and set that aside. Now we're going to mix the batter. We're going to start with the olive oil and the brown sugar, and we're going to use an electric mixer to mix it until it's really well combined. Then we're going to crack both eggs into the bowl. Then you're going to mix it for about a minute on high until it starts to get a little bit fluffy. So now we're going to add the bananas. They're really soft from being in the freezer, so you can just use a knife to slice it and kind of dump the inside out into the bowl. You don't even need to pre-mash these bananas because they're so mushy from being in the freezer. They actually look a little bit gross, to be honest, but it makes banana bread making so easy because you don't have to get another bowl dirty to mash the bananas. I've got my bananas in the bowl. Now I'm just going to use the electric mixer to mix it up, and because the bananas are already so mushy, they're just going to kind of disintegrate right into the batter. It's great. Now we're going to add the baking soda, the salt, the cinnamon, and the vanilla extract. And we're going to mix it one more time with the electric mixer. Then we're going to add the whole wheat flour and the all-purpose flour. Now we're going to use a wooden spoon to stir this up. This helps not overmix the batter. You want to mix it just until it's just combined. If you overmix it, the gluten in the flour will start to develop and your dough might be a little bit tough. You want banana bread to be nice and fluffy. Okay, there are no dry spots left. So now I'm going to get my prepared loaf pan and I'm going to pour the batter into the loaf pan. I like to use a rubber spatula for this because it means I can get every little morsel of the batter. I don't understand how people just pour batter into a loaf pan or cake batter into a pan and like leave a bunch of batter behind. What is that? No, we're not wasting any of this good stuff. So we're going to use the rubber spatula to pour the batter into the oiled loaf pan. And it's okay if you see a little bit of the olive oil that you greased the pan with kind of come up to the top and pool in the corners. It's all going to get soaked in by the bread and be delicious. Okay, I'm gonna pop this in the oven for actually about an hour. It takes a while to cook. It might even take longer depending on the size of your bananas, the kind of oven you have, the temperature, etc. So the banana bread is all done and my kitchen smells amazing. I can't wait to eat it. The way you know if the banana bread is done is if you take a toothpick and you stick it in the center and it comes out clean, you know it's all good to go. Now's the hard part. You gotta wait for about 10 minutes for it to cool in the pan before you try to take it out, otherwise it might fall apart. And it's really hard to wait, but you'll be really sad if it falls apart, I promise. Once you've waited for a little bit, it should just kind of pop right out of the pan pretty easily and pretty cleanly. You can see that this is still a little bit hot, so I'm gonna let it cool off for a little bit longer before I slice into it. The banana bread is cool enough. I've waited for too long already. I'm gonna use a serrated knife to cut into it. It'll just make the cuts a little bit cleaner. This looks so good. To serve this banana bread, I like slathering it in salted butter. Oh, it's so good. You can also butter the leftover banana bread the next day and grill it in a nonstick skillet on both sides, and it's perfect for breakfast. You can store the leftover banana bread in an airtight container for up to about 3 days or in the fridge for about a week. You can also freeze it to make it last longer, but it never lasts that long in my house. Well, I hope you like this easy banana bread recipe as much as I do. It comes out perfect every time and it's always a hit. I've included the ingredients and substitutions below, as well as a link to bowlofdelicious.com for the full recipe. Please hit the like button if you haven't already if you liked this recipe, and subscribe to Bowl of Delicious. And feel free to comment below with any questions that you have about the recipe or ingredients or baking banana bread. See you next time. Please visit bowlofdelicious.com for this and other from scratch recipes made simple and always delicious.